One of the stories of the war was how in August 1944 General Patton stopped all engineering work to concentrate on rebuilding a rail line through the forests of southern Normandy. Instead he issued an urgent order: General Patton has broken through and is striking rapidly for Paris. He says his men can get along without food, but his tanks and trucks won't run without gas. He also said, my men can eat their belts, but my tanks got to have gas. More than 10,000 men worked to rebuild the 135-mile line in just 3 days, to meet Patton's deadline. Cherbourg, the port on the northern tip of the Cotentin Peninsula, was the main transition point between sea and land for the first 6 months after the invasion, and it remained vital even when Antwerp, Europe's biggest port, was finally opened in November. However, what is rarely mentioned is this epic tale is the role played by the Southern Railway cross-channel train ferries from Southampton to Cherbourg. This logistical operation, based at 110 berth, nowadays used by the SS Schildhall, was a cornerstone of the Allied advance following the D-Day landings. This film captures the intense, high-stakes efforts at Southampton docks, under the direction of the Southern Railway, moving massive quantities of military hardware to the liberated European continent. In 1944, the port of Southampton became the strategic nerve center for Operation Overlord, transforming the city's integrated Southern Railway network and cross-channel train ferries into a critical military supply line. With the help of the U.S. Army 14th Major Port, Southampton seamlessly married rail and sea logistics to move millions of troops and heavy equipment directly to the Normandy beaches. Allied forces needed to rapidly repair and restock the destroyed French and Belgian railway systems. Jointly with the USA, over 2,000 locomotives were ordered for continental deployment. To handle this logistical feat, the Didcot, Newbury and Southampton railway line was extensively rebuilt to feed a continuous stream of military trains directly to the Southampton quays. 3 requisitioned Dover ferries specifically shuttled between Southampton and Cherbourg, primarily tasked with carrying heavily armored U.S. locomotives and ambulance trains.
The success of the United Nations on the other side of the Channel meant that the supplies necessary to maintain them must follow them deeper and deeper into Hitler's Europe. The French railways had been robbed of most of their rolling stock by the Germans during the occupation, and so replacements from Britain and the United States were sent over both as cargo and on ferry boats equipped with a special superstructure to take them. Loading gear designed expressly for the purpose was employed to lift heavy locomotives bodily from the quaysides. Once aboard, they were run smoothly into position on the ferryboat's own rail.
The specially adapted vessels HMS Hampton, HMS Twickenham, and HMS Shepperton operated from berth 110. Each ferry could carry a full load of 16 locomotives and 20 freight trucks. Because the continental ports lacked proper rail infrastructure, the vessels were equipped with a 258-ton gantry and heavy lift derrick capable of lifting 84 tons, enabling them to hoist and drop engines straight onto the quayside rails. The first major delivery to Cherbourg occurred on June 30, 1944, just 4 days after the city was captured. Train ferries played a unique tactical role because they could load entire rolling stock components directly from the rails via specialized hards and link spans. The Southern Railway trio of vessels HMS Hampton, HMS Shepperton, and HMS Twickenham were critical to the effort. Once French ports like Cherbourg and Dieppe were liberated and cleared later in 1944, these 3 ferries ran a continuous shuttle service. After D-Day, 2.5 million tons of equipment were carried through the French port, with all but 1 million tons of that carried forward by rail, and the capacity of the port expanded to 20,000 tons per day, nearly 10 times the pre-war level, representing dozens of trains per day, every day.